Pete's Pigskin Previews brought to you by Raider Pump and Supply. Comprehensive looks at a record 83 area high schools this season, from 6-man to 6A, plus homeschool taps and even New Mexico, all leading up to the start of end zone coverage in late August. Time to preview another school.
Second year with the Snyder Tigers. Let's talk about first, last year and then coming into this year, looking for improvement.
Oh yeah, last year, nobody wants to go 1-9, and that's not something you wish for the program or the kids or anyone. But because of the circumstances that we were in, and me getting here 3 months prior to kicking it off the tee against somebody else, our number one priority was building relationships with the kids that were here. They didn't choose me, but I chose them, and so that was very, very important in year one. And so played a lot of really, really young, inexperienced players last year, but they got a lot of really, really good reps against some really good opponents. Our schedule is very tough, and so a lot of those players we have coming back, you can see that growth and development in them. And so we still do have a pretty young football team, but they're so much more experienced, and just, having that a whole year together in the off season, building that relationship still, but then also perfecting our craft and getting bigger, faster, and stronger. It's definitely, we look different than we did a year ago.
What do you think the strength of the Tigers is going to be?
Really, really proud of our offensive and defensive line. Last year, one of the biggest deficiencies that we had was up front on both sides of the ball. And so we've really worked hard this offseason to develop depth up front. We would get in games last year, and out of our 5 offensive linemen that were out there on the field, 3 of them would have to stay out there and play defense. And you can't be successful that way, not in the league that we play in. And so our coaches have done an outstanding job of getting those kids prepared, creating depth. And so that's the thing that I'm most excited about, and really what's been a positive through the first 2 scrimmages of the year.
And Coach, what will the Snyder Tigers look like on the field in 2025?
I think that's the biggest thing you got to find out in a hurry, from an identity standpoint, because this team is different than last year's team, and next year's team will be different than this team right here. And so them just figuring out who they are as a football team. Again, we're going to be young still, but the one positive with that is we have a quarterback coming back that started for us last year, Seth Cooper, and he's done a great job and dove in to what we do, not only from an offensive standpoint, but really proud of the leadership that he's developed. And so I think what everybody's going to see is just a more confident team, a more prepared team, and a team that's excited to play the greatest game in the world.
How have the scrimmages gone for the Tigers?
Been awesome. First scrimmage, it was a 3-way scrimmage, and it was good. Very, very productive. Got to play Brownfield and got to play Shallow Water in the scrimmage. Our defense played against Brownfield's offense, and so did some really good things defensively, flew around. We're pretty limited on reps, but the kids took advantage of those reps. And then playing Shallow Water, they're one of the most successful programs out here in West Texas, and they very physical, very well-coached team. And so got to go out there with our offense against a very talented Shallow Water defense, and so did some really good things, and we did some things not real well, and that they'll expose you real quick, and they did. And so that gave us a chance to work on some things last week, and then coming in and playing Denver City here at home in the scrimmage. Again, another very physical football team, great running game. And so we were able to score 3 times in the scrimmage, and they scored 1 time. And so did some really good things. And again, we're just starting to develop who we are as a football team, and, just coming together at the right time.
Talk about your non-district schedule.
It's tough. Out of our schedule from game 1 to game 10, 9 of those teams made it into the playoffs last year. And so when you have a schedule like that, you have to be prepared to play your very best football every single week, because if you don't, you're not gonna look like a very good program. And so that was the thing last year, and it's the same schedule as it was last year. We open up with Pecos, very tough physical program. Just got a brand new head coach, and very tough physical kids, blue collar kids. And so that's going to be a tough one down there in Pecos to open up And so just playing teams like Lubbock High, playing teams like Clyde, playing teams like Levelland, I mean, those are all championship programs that are coached extremely well. And so again, we're going to have to prepare to play our very best football every single week, because when we do get to district play, and something that I am thankful for is playing that challenge in non-district schedule, because our district is loaded from top to bottom.
And what is your assessment for district this year?
You know, I feel like we have a better chance every single week we line up and play. And so I think our kids know and understand too. I felt like last year when we would approach those district games and playing teams like Fort Stockton and playing teams like Seminole and Monahans and Midland and Greenwood, and the kids know. I mean, they see it, and they know how successful those teams are, but we attacked it with caution. Just because they didn't have confidence in themselves. And so I think just again, through the year that we've spent together, and then through these first two scrimmages, you can tell that there's confidence there. And so I'm going to say this every single year. It doesn't matter where I'm at or how long I've been at a place or whatever. I mean, we expect to go out there and compete for a district championship, because at the end of the day, that's what these kids deserve. And if they're not getting that type of effort from their coaching staff, then they're being cheated. And so we expect to go out there and compete for a championship just like the rest of our teams in the district. And we know we're going to have to play our very best football to make that happen.
And Coach, you're in the year 2 now. Can you just talk about the community of Snyder?
Unbelievable, Pete. I mean, just unbelievable support, and just how on fire this community is for the kids here at Snyder High School and at Snyder Junior High, and not just with football, not just with basketball, not with just the sports side of things, but from academics to just everything that these kids are a part of. Parents are proud, and their parents expect for them to be successful, which is rightfully so. So just, it's a great community. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. I have 4 daughters that are in the school system here in Snyder, and they're just succeeding and excelling in everything that they're doing. And that's a direct reflection of not me, more so their mother, but also these awesome teachers and awesome coaches that we have here in Snyder ISD. We're just thankful to be in such an awesome community.
And you mentioned it, but what are the goals this year for Snyder?
The goal for the Snyder Tigers is to get in. Haven't been to the playoffs in a long time. And so, again, these kids want to flip the perception of what Snyder football is and what the Snyder Tigers are. And at the end of the day, everything that we have thrown at our great kids, they've taken it with full stride, and they come back the next day. There's some days we walk out of here and I don't know if they're going to come back or not. And so it's a positive to see them walk through the door the next day and ready to take on the challenge. And so that's something that we've talked about with our team, is getting into the playoffs and having a chance to go to the dance, and then every single week playing for another week, playing for another opportunity. But we can't have that opportunity if we don't take care of our business. And so the kids are excited right now, fired up, and I expect to see big, big things come from our Snyder Tigers on the football field this year.